Hello, everyone. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Whenever you're watching me from today, if you can see me, you can hear me. It's a beautiful day today. I'm going to be having our SOP online conversation this evening or afternoon or morning, depending on where you're watching me from. So we're just going to wait for a few moments or few minutes to allow others join in this conversation. If you're here right now, I would appreciate that you drop in the comment section. Let me know where you're watching me from. And you can as well tell me if you can see me and you can hear me. It's an amazing day for STP Online Conversation, and it promises to be an enlightening conversation. We're going to be learning a lot today. We're going to be, our eyes will open to a lot of wisdom today. So I believe that we are ready for this conversation. You're ready. I am ready. Our guest is ready. It's going to be a beautiful conversation today. And yeah, we're just going to wait for a few minutes to allow more persons join in this conversation. Do well to share the link for your friends and family to join in this conversation. Share the link so your friends and family can be part of today's conversation. Yes, so that even as you learn, they can also learn in this conversation. So good afternoon, good evening, good morning again, depending on where you're watching me from. Today's conversation, we're going to be tweaking it a little bit. Now, normally our conversations usually have like questions, our guests respond to the questions. From there, we go on the conversations. But today, I'm going to be tweaking it up, and I believe you're going to love this pattern. So, I'm going to introduce our guest. After introducing our guest, I'm going to allow her take center stage so that she continues with the topic. So she's going to have, um, what's the word now? She's going to be teaching us by herself today. So that's how the conversation is going to go today. So I'm actually tweaking it for every one of us. And I believe that we're going to learn a lot. And before the conversation is over, I'm going to come back up and make some contributions. I may probably ask some questions, and we're going to wrap up the conversation. So I'm going to be reading the profile of our guest right now, a very wonderful guest. We've had her on SOP Online Conversation before. So I think this will be the second time she's going to be here, and she's good at what she does. So I'm going to read her profile. And like I said, after reading her profile, we'll do a little chit chat, and I'm going to leave the stream for her. We're going to be talking about intentional motherhood in an evolving world. We know that the world is evolving, and so parenting is also evolving. So the way we used to do parenting, like 20 years ago, it's not actually the way we do parenting today. There's been a lot of evolution, a lot of changes. And I believe that even as it evolves, as mothers, we'll be able to evolve too. And that also goes to fathers. And sometimes people may be wondering why we're so focused on mothers. This month, you find out that most of our posts on SOP has been directed towards mothers, is because we actually had Mother's Day in the month of May. So the focus is mothers. Next month, we're going to be focusing on fathers. Yes, June, we're actually going to be celebrating Father's Day, and we're going to be focusing on fathers. So intentional motherhood in evolving words takes a lot. It has to do with being deliberate, being intentional in raising your children. It has to do with being intentional and consistent in becoming and grooming yourself. So quickly, I'm just going to read the profile of our guest and let her take charge of this conversation, because that's how we're going to be tweaking it today. Yes, we're doing tweaking it. Thank you so much. I can see Itowa and Sarime here. I can see Robert194. Sorry, I can just see your emails. I think so. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So now to the profile of our guest. Dr. Nisi Ikena Amadi is a transformational leader, human resources management expert, gender advocate, and strategic partnerships specialist committed to advancing women's economic inclusion and building people centered institutions across Africa. Okay. She holds a PhD in human resource management and combines academic rigor with extensive executive experience in strategic leadership, business development, governance innovation, and organizational transformation. Dr. Nisi has successfully mentored um, female entrepreneurs through initiatives supported by GIZ, GIZ, and World Bank aligned programs, equipping women led businesses with tools for competitiveness, compliance, and sustainable growth in recognition of our outstanding mentorship and leadership in advancing women's economic empowerment. She was recently honored by the British High Commission under the SWIAP, that's Supporting Women's Economic Empowerment Through Affirmative Procurement program, delivered in partnership with Do Take Action Initiative and Chivreni Aluminium Nigeria. This award affirms our measurable impact in strengthening women owned businesses for inclusive access to public procurement opportunities. As founder of the African Women Mentoring and Inspiring Initiative and convener of Girl Clinic, she creates platforms for self discovery, leadership development, and purpose driven growth for women and girls. Our work in gender responsive procurement and institutional partnership continues to promote inclusive access to public and institutional contracting opportunities across sectors, and author of Graced and Management by Indoctrination. Dr. Nisi speaks with clarity and conviction on human capital development, governance, strategic partnership, and institutional reform, challenging leaders and institutions to achieve measurable impact. She's blessed with a loving husband, Reverend Ikena Amadi, and exceptional children. Wow. Did you hear the profile of our guests? Packed, capacity, confidence, leadership, resilience, and this conversation. Yes, the person we're going to be listening today has, sorry for that glitch in network, has a lot of capacity, and I want us to be ready for today's conversation. So you're going to join me right now without wasting much time. You're going to join me right now as I invite our guest today, Dr. Nisi Kenamadi. Yes, to the stream. You're welcome. Oh, sorry, I'm going to roll the drum for you. Roll the drums. It's another thing we do here. You're welcome, Dr. Nisi. Welcome, welcome. It's good to have you join us today. Hello, Dr. Nisi. I can't really hear you. Can we hear?
All right, so thank you so much, everyone.
Oh,
Thank you for
thank
having me today.
Yes, you're
I like
welcome.
to
You're
just,
welcome.
yeah, thank you very much. I like
Thank
to say, I like to send apologies. I'm outside my house. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm outside my
wow.
house. Yeah. The light
It will make it more
situation is
beautiful.
my, I've not used my generator in a long while, so it won't come on. So I'm outside in case cars pass, in case people greet me and I say hello. Just know that I'm outside the house. But it's a
It will
pleasure
make the
being here.
conversation
I
better.
just the topic is one I consider very timely, highly important, and very ready for the season. Because we're
Hmm,
looking at emotional motherhood in a time where knowledge has increased. I'm
true.
sorry. I don't know if you do church, but I'm a pastor's wife, so I'm going to be quoting some scriptures. I'm going to take a storyline from the Bible because I've come to
Sorry,
realize
Pastor
whether
Nisi. Sorry, Pastor Nisi. I'm going to be leaving you on the. I'm going to be leaving you on the stream right now. I'm going to come back
okay, that's fine.
later on, and we're going to continue this
Okay,
conversation. I already told them there's going to be a tweak today, so the stage is
that's
yours.
fine.
Do your thing.
That's fine. All right,
Okay,
thank you
please
so
do
much. Okay.
continue.
Yeah. Once
Okay.
again, thank you so much, everyone, for having me. And on a more serious note, intentional motherhood is a topic I consider very vital, very important, pivotal in this time and era where we find ourselves. And having to connect it to a time of knowledge, a time of intelligence, a time where technology has taken over everything. It's very important. And so, like I said, I'm a pastor's wife, and so when I talk permit me to draw lines from the Bible, because I've come to realize that whether we like it or not, engineering, law, whatever it is, they have bearing from the Bible. They have bearing from the Bible. So, what's motherhood? Most times people will say that a woman who has battered babies or a woman who can take care of others. Motherhood is beyond batting children. Motherhood is beyond batting children. And then when we talk about the times we're in, the Bible talks about knowledge increasing in the end times. And the truth is, knowledge has advanced. What we have today is tech, is a tech-driven world, a knowledge-driven environment. And when you talk about technology, you want to say technology is good in a way, and technology is also not good in a way. Technology has come to help us make our processes, everything around us better. But then again, technology exposes us to information, some information we don't need, especially when you have to care for children, especially when you have to raise children. So technology has made parenting easier and also complicated, especially when you're raising teenage children who have phones, who check the internet, who know what's happening. So information is everywhere. Information is helping parenting as a learning tool and building networks and parenting communities. So we're learning, like now, this is a parenting community. We're here, we're learning. We're learning. But technology also exposes us and puts pressure on children. That's what technology does. And so when you talk about intentional motherhood, I want to say intentional motherhood one as sorry, I have someone passing and talking. So like I said, I'm outside my house. So apologies. All right, so intentional motherhood is spirit led. Is spirit led first of all. Intentional motherhood is spirit led. So when you think about intentional motherhood, you're looking at yourself and you're saying to yourself, I must be spirit led. The Bible says there's a spirit in man. It is the inspiration of the Almighty that giveth them understanding. So intentional motherhood is one driven by God. So I'm going to draw a story from the Bible. It's a story of a woman in the book of Exodus, a woman who battered in the book of Exodus 3. She battered a son, and as at the time she battered that boy, there was a law to kill children within an age bracket, I think 0 to 3. And she hid her son. She was an intentional mother. She hid her son. She hid him so well that asking myself, for a child, children cry. Sometimes you don't know why they are crying. They just cry. And the cry of children is so unique. Is one that anyone around you will know that there's this child somewhere. So children's cry call for attention. It calls everyone around to know, there's a tiny little one around here, because children don't cry like adults do. They don't cry like bigger children do. So there's no way you have a child cry and you don't know there's a child in the house. How Jochebed hid her son for the period of time she hid him, only God knows. Now she was an intentional mother. Beyond intentionality, when she was about sending her son away because she couldn't keep him anymore, not because she didn't love him anymore, but she just felt at that point she was going to be risking his life and that of hers. And so, in her intentionality, she weaved a basket. I don't know how she was able to think around the basket to say, oh, this basket is going to float. But whatever she did around the basket was such that the basket could float with the weight of a baby in it on sea. Intentionality. Intentionality. She wove the basket, ensured that every part was well knitted. She ensured that every hole was well covered, so that the water from the sea, it wasn't just a stream, it wasn't just a small, water is connected. Water is connected. So the streams connect you to the bigger river, and that's how it connects you to the ocean. She didn't know how far the basket was going to carry the son, but however, she just ensured her son was comfortable. In her intentionality, she must have breastfed him enough to sustain him for a period. Intentionality. Now, guess what? She didn't just send her son out alone. She ensured his sister was following from behind. Intentionality comes with the spirit's leading. So for any mother to be intentional about raising children, she must be spirit led. She must be spirit led. She must be spirit led. Very spirit led. Because we need God. I used to tell myself, I said, there is no manual for raising children. No one has given us a manual. I don't know if you were given a manual. I wasn't given a manual. So there's no manual for raising children. No manual for raising children. Beyond parents, children are being raised by screens, like we talked about. So in her time, and we can't even say how Moses grew up in the house of Pharaoh. So beyond what his mother was able to sing and say to him his stories while he was a baby, he met other culture. He met other, how do I put it? He just met other things that was being instilled into him. He had to learn the ways of the Egyptians. It's just like today our children are being raised by screens, by media trends, by algorithms. So a mother who is intentional must slowly become reactive instead of leading. And that's not what we want. So in this time and age, intentionality must help you to be proactive as mothers. Get to learn and know what technology is saying. Don't say, no, it's not in my time. Don't say, oh, I don't understand. Is it TikTok? Go in and see what's there. So you can help the children. You can raise them better. So you must be spirit led. You must be spirit led. You must be spirit led. I can't lay so much emphasis on that. But I want to ask you, what's forming your child? What's forming your child? What's that presence in your child that's more powerful than you? That presence, that thing that occupies your child, that is not more powerful than you. We're mothers. We're mothers. Intentionality one, you must be spirit led. 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 Intentional parenting is about identity. The first one, you must be spirit led. Number two, is about identity. These children are growing and then sometimes they're asking themselves, who am I? What am I meant to be? What can I do? And because we're in an environment where it is knowledge driven, children are asking and wanting to know more, the knowledge must come from you. I told you there's screen everywhere, there's trend everywhere. So first, you must be spirit led. Two, intentionality. An intentional mother is one who understands identity. So you must ensure that your children know who they are. They know who they are. I somehow believe, going back to the Bible story, that the reason why Moses' mother had to send her daughter to follow the brother was because she wanted to know where her son was going to be. Intentionality. Now, when the sister found out where her brother was going to be, guess what? The mother was invited and paid to nurse her child. Intentional motherhood. Intentional motherhood. She was paid to raise her child. And in raising her child, I want to believe that everything she couldn't do, trying to hide the child, she began to do it. And maybe she just kept telling him, you're not an Egyptian. You're an Israelite. We serve God. Like I tell my children, we're Jesus people. I tell them we're Jesus people. Nothing more, nothing less. That Jesus, in fact, Jesus lives in our house and visit other homes. That's who we are. So if you ask my youngest child, she's 5 years old, she will tell you, just ask her, what people are we? She will tell you, we're Jesus people. In intentional motherhood requires you speaking identity, ensuring to help your children understand who they are and whose they are. Because when children don't tend to understand, there is that bit of misplaced identity. So most times when you see children find themselves on screen, find themselves in environments where they shouldn't be, all they're trying to look for is identity. What they're looking for is identity. 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 So you find them go to wrong places, just trying to identify, just trying to be, among. So, what's the word now? I want to be among. I don't want to be left. I just want to be among. I want to be known. I want to follow. They follow the bagwagons. So intentional motherhood is about identity. It's about identity. It's about identity. Helping your children to understand. It's about identity. You are the voice. The voice that your children should listen to. You are the voice. So as a mother, even from when the children are in your womb and you keep speaking, science has told us that they understand the voice of their mothers, of their fathers. They understand. They know and so when you sing to them, they understand. And so when they come out of the womb, they still can identify your voice. The world has a voice. The world speaks. But let your voice be the voice your children know and hear. The Bible says in the book of John, John 10, it says, "My sheep hear my voice, and they know my voice." That's Jesus talking to us as his sheep, and he's the shepherd. He says, "They know my voice and they listen." So every woman must understand that her voice is a weapon and she must use it well, because her voice is the first thing her child hears. Her voice is the first thing her child hears. The world is here providing all it can provide, giving the children all the information. The world is speaking. But as a parent, what are you providing the child? Provide the child with an identity. Show them the right steps to follow. Make them understand who they are. Make them understand the values of your family. Make them understand what is right and what is wrong, so they can carry what you have built within them even when they are grown. Because sometimes when you don't instill into them what they should know, when they are grown, they become lost. They become lost, looking for identity. They become lost. There's a scripture that says, "Train up a child in the way he should go. When the child is old, he will not depart from it." It's as though showing the child, just point the right direction in which the child should go. And once the child goes there, the child won't be lost. The child knows where. So let it be that wherever your children find themselves, even in the world, when they begin to step out into the world, your voice is echoing. I remember growing up. We grow up and you hear some things your mother has spoken into your life, and then you get into certain places. Like I go into parties and I'm sitting and I'm asking myself, what am I doing here? You're far away from home. Nobody is seeing you. Nobody's going to catch you. Yeah, okay. But because of the voices that have been spoken into your head growing up, you can still think that your mother miles away can see you in that party. That's how powerful your voice is as a mother. That's how powerful raising your children with intentionality is. It's very important. It's very important. Intentional motherhood is not about resisting technology. No, it's not about refusing technology. But in the midst of technology, it's about refusing to lose your children. Yes, people have lost their children to technology. So we're not saying that because we're in this era and season, we should forbid technology. No, we can't forbid technology. We can't forbid technology. We can't reject technology. Rather, what you should be refuting, what you should be refusing, what you should be rejecting is losing your child in technology. Let it be that the technological space is still a safe place because of how you've groomed the children, made them to understand who they are and whose they are. Because the world has a voice. Even when you are tired, distracted, listen. Now I'm cultivating the habit of listening to my children. So when they come back from work, from school, I listen to them. And sometimes what they're saying is jargon. The other day, my 5-year-old child was telling me how they are rehearsing for graduation. She's going to primary one, how her classmate one was not dancing, one was standing like a stick. And then when she said he was standing like a stick, I felt that phrase was too big for that child. So I asked her, how do you know he was standing like a stick? And then she said he was standing like a stick. I said, no. I'm not doubting the fact that he was standing like a stick, but I wanted to know how she got the information. And then she said, oh, her teacher said he was standing like a stick. So that thing the teacher has said has registered. You see, the voices our children hear, there are too many voices. You also have the voices of the teachers aside technology. You also have the voices of people out there in the world. So some things your children say, they don't even know what they're saying, especially when they are young, but they say it to you innocently. It's not the time for you to shout and say, where did you hear that word? Stop it, where did you hear that word? No, it's for you to get to the root of the matter, no matter how tired you are. An intentional mother is one who does not reject technology, but she's one who refuses to lose her children or her child in the midst of technology. Remember the first thing I said? Intentional woman or intentional motherhood is about spirit leading, spirit led. Two, intentional motherhood is about identity. Three, intentional motherhood is about refusing to lose your child to technology, not rejecting technology. Because one way you can find your children is to ensure you're a part of what's happening. Know what's happening. Just know what is happening. There is no perfect parenting, but there must be a present parenting. There's no perfect motherhood, but there should be a present motherhood. Ensure you are present in the life of your children. Don't be absent. Don't be absent. Because you can only be intentional when you know what you are doing. You're the one who provides identity for them. There are so many voices, but your voice is important for them. Because as they keep growing up, let your voice be what they hear. It echoes wherever they find themselves. Even when they find themselves making the wrong decision, let your voice be that little still small voice that directs them by as in turns them around back to reason. Back to reason. Intentional parenting is about being in the center of your child. 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 It is not about being awake. It's not like waking up. No. When we talk about being awake, it's being awake and moving and moving. Being awake and moving. Knowing what you can do. You are the mentor the child has. You are the mentor. Sometimes when we look at how our parents raised us, even with the little they knew, even when there was no technology, we grew up and we grew up well. We grew up and we grew up well. And then family value was something we could, resonate with. Family value is something we could appreciate. These days, children damn family value. They just damn it. The last thing I want to talk about, intentional motherhood, is that intentional motherhood is about being aware. It's awareness. Awareness. And in a way, you'll agree with me that talking about all this have touched it. It's awareness. Intentional motherhood is spirit leading. Intentional motherhood is providing identity. Intentional motherhood is not refusing technology, but ensuring your children are not lost in technology. Intentional motherhood is about identity. Sorry, it's about awareness. Awareness, creating awareness. Creating awareness. What we're doing right now together, we're creating awareness. We're creating awareness. Creating awareness, ensuring that the children understand. They understand. So when you have created the awareness around them, they can perceive the times. They can perceive their environment, and they can tell when the environment is a safe haven. They can tell when the environment is a place to run. You teach them. You teach them. It's not too late. There's knowledge everywhere. Knowledge everywhere. Knowledge everywhere. So we have to ensure that our children are well taught. The Bible says if our children are taught of the Lord, great shall be their peace. Great shall be the peace. Raising children is both beautiful and amazing. It's easier and can be harder, but it depends on what you are choosing. So you decide to choose. What are you choosing? Are you choosing it's like saying choose your heart, but it can be amazing raising children in this time. So when we begin to compare yesterday's raising children and today's raising children, it's almost the same thing. It's almost the same thing. It's just that knowledge has advanced. So you are the one who knows that knowledge has advanced. The children don't know. They don't know how you were raised up. They don't know what it was in your time. So you are the one who needs to make the adjustments to meet with the demands and expectations of this time and age, so that you don't lose your children in technology era. You don't lose your children to screen. You don't lose your children to trend. You don't lose your children to the happenings. Create the boundaries. Create the boundaries. Create the boundaries. Create that boundary for your children. Create that boundary for your children. Parents, did they face all this? Well, the screen then was television. And I used to tell my husband that I don't know about other places, but in Nigeria, growing up, television doesn't come on until 4 p.m., as in 4 p.m. So in the morning, it's as though they're saying to every child, get ready, go to school. We all go to school. We come back from school. And in those days, we didn't used to do lessons in school. We come back home, eat, and then we all run to a particular environment where you have different children from different homes, not the lesson teacher coming to your home to teach only your child. So you have children. So what parenting was doing before now was building a community, was building a community. But today, parenting, as though parenting is in isolation, motherhood is in isolation. But thank God for a forum like this, where they teach, they create a network, create a connect, create that bond, that platform where we can talk as mothers, share our pains and learn from one another. Learn from one another. So, but here we are in a knowledge-driven era, in a tech-powered era, and we're just wondering, what can we do? Like I said, the one who makes the shift is not the children. The one who makes the shift is the mother. The one who makes the shift is the father. The one who makes the shift is you. Because again, I said, the children don't know how you grew up. They don't know what it was. So what they can see is in the era where they are born. That's all they can see. So you who can say that you have seen yesterday and you are in today, you are the one who needs to make the difference. You are the one who needs to help create the balance, because it's like you are the scale. You are the scale holding yesterday and holding today. You are the scale. So how you create your balance is also important. It's very key. It's very important. Sorry, I'll just take the next question. Like I said, I'm reading the question since prioritize love. Prioritize love. In our society today, people are beginning to lose. I'm deliberately teaching my children empathy, because we're losing out on empathy. So if a child has done something wrong and I want to spank the child and I say to you, go and get me the cane, and you run and you're excited about going to get me the cane, and you're bringing the cane and you're expecting me to spank, your sibling, and you're excited about it. And I'm just wondering, and I said to you, why are you excited? And I'm spanking someone that is crying. You should feel the bite. You should feel the bite, because myself, I don't know about some of you, growing up in my time, if you're spanking someone, the other person can even start crying, feeling the pain. But these days, you're spanking someone and the other person is laughing. Is laughing. Something is wrong. We're beginning to lose out on empathy, and empathy is key. So, what are we teaching our children? We're teaching them love. We're teaching them to be empathetic. Empathy is about feeling the pains of the others. You don't even need to go through it. The point or the fact that someone is being inflicted with pain and that they can respond to it, you can see it, shows that you too should feel what they're feeling. So we need to also teach our children integrity, honesty, transparency. What's not yours is not yours. Don't take it. Don't take it. What's not given to you is not given to you. Don't desire it. Teach our children values. Teach our children values. Teach our children faith. We can teach our children about God. It's very important. Intentional motherhood. Most times men go out looking for money and they just feel that the burden of raising children, of growing children, is a woman's tax. Please feel the vacuum and feel it well. Yes, every child needs a father figure to grow, but the mother is the sail. The mother is the sail. She's the one that withstands the storm. She's the one that keeps the sea, or the ship afloat. She's the one that keeps the children going, keeps you going as a child. Like I said, you can forget any voice, but that of your mother, you shouldn't even forget it. Don't even forget it. Don't even forget it. So mothers, be intentional and make sure you are always speaking. Always speaking. Don't speak in the negative. Sometimes you don't teach your children love by saying I love you alone. Show them what love is. Show them what love is. Just this week my daughter was sick, and then we're trying to teach the children how to wash plates. And so we started by saying everybody wash your plate. My son can go to the sink and see everybody's plate and just wash that his own plate. And I said to him last week, I said, no, your sister isn't well. Wash her plates. Wash her plates. So you teach them how to be there for one another. How to be there for one another. How to cover up one another is very important. Teach them respect. Teach them emotional intelligence. I said intentional motherhood is about identity. You don't have to lose yourself while raising these children. That's why I said you must skill up. You must learn. You must learn. Skill up. Skill up. Today we're using technology and we're talking to ourselves. I want to believe that we have some of you in Burundi. We have some of you in Nigeria. That's beautiful. Skill up. Skill up. So don't wait and say, oh, no, 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 it's their thing. It's no longer their thing. If it means for you to go and learn a tech skill, learn it. And today you can learn a tech skill in the comfort of your home using your phone. Learn a tech skill. Learn a tech skill. So you don't lose yourself. You don't get what's the word now? You don't get lost where you're trying to help those who are getting lost. No. You can save yourself, save your children, save your entire family. So it's very important. Save yourself, save your children, save your entire family. So don't get lost, don't get overwhelmed because you're trying to raise children. Don't get overwhelmed because you're trying to do the right thing. You can do the right thing without getting wearied, without getting stressed out, without getting emotionally drained. You can do the right thing and be okay, 100% okay. You can do the right thing and be fine. So it's important we do the right thing. We're okay. We do the right thing. We're just perfect doing the right thing. So don't get lost while you're doing the right thing. So ensure that you're well kitted. Your life jacket is well in right position. So when you go into that river to save your child, you don't get drowned yourself. But then, if you begin to teach your children from now, you won't need to look for them in rivers because they'll be by your side. Even if they're far away from home, your voice, like a ring, like a tune, a ringtone, will always be ringing in their head. So it's very important for us to understand, as I bring this class to a close, it's very important for us to understand that intentional motherhood, one, is about being spirit-led. Intentional motherhood, two, it's about identity, understanding who you are, whose you are, and helping your children to understand who they are, where they're coming from. Ensure that your voice is louder than the voices of everyone out there in the world. Because, like I will always say, children come with a blank slate. You are the first author on the slate of your child. Ensure you're writing and making history, writing the right things that should be on that slate of that child. So when the child grows up, they can't depart from it because you are the pen, not just any pen. You are the permanent marker on the life of the child. So that thing you have inscribed on their life, let it remain. Let them begin to read and grow by it. Your voice matters. Your voice matters. The next thing I said about intentional motherhood, I said you are that woman who doesn't get carried away with technology, who doesn't reject technology. But again, you are that woman who doesn't lose your children in technology. So together, you can have a ride in technology. I also said here that intentional motherhood is about the woman who is aware, self awareness, environmental awareness, spiritual awareness, child awareness, awareness in all form, shade. You must be aware, know what's happening, know what's happening, read the news, surf the internet, know what's happening. Don't make it look like you are too old for knowledge. You're not too old for knowledge. You're not too old for knowledge. Look for knowledge, grab it. The Bible says wisdom is the principal thing. In all you're getting, get understanding, get wisdom, get clarity. Please create the awareness, not just for yourself, for your child. Know what the world is saying, know what the trend is saying, know what the media is saying, know what the teacher is saying, know what their friends have told them. Ensure you create a cordial relationship between you and your children, and ensure you create a conducive environment where your children are allowed to express themselves. I want to believe that with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you that intentional motherhood is very important in this time and age. Intentional motherhood is not just about giving the children everything they want, it's about being present in the life of your children. Thank you so, so much for having me, Pastor Kitty. Thank you. Thank you. Hope I've been able to do justice to the topic. Although I couldn't go through all the questions because I kept going to read the question to come back to respond to them. All right. Thank you so much, Pastor Kitty. Over to you. Pastor Kitty, are you there?
Thank you so much, Dr. Nisi. Thank you. The
Thank
network
you.
has to behave today. Thank you so much,
Sorry.
Dr. Nisi.
Sorry.
Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
You have impacted us today. Intentional motherhood being about being spirit led, understanding your
Yeah.
identity, and teaching your children to understand their identity. Identity is so
Yeah.
critical. It will guide the choices we make in life, it will guide the
True.
places we find ourselves, it will
True.
guide our decisions, everything. So it's
True.
very critical. Intentional motherhood has to do with not rejecting technology, but refusing to
Mm.
lose your children to
Lose your
technology.
children in need.
That is,
Yes.
yes, that is so critical. We need to
Yeah.
raise our children not to be afraid of technology, but to have wisdom to manage technology. So
True.
giving your children digital wisdom, because technology is not going anywhere. As the
Mm.
day go by, things are going to be evolving the more. And so our
True.
children must be prepared for the world that is out there. We can't shield our children. We can't hide them in our homes. What we can
True.
do is to prepare them to be able to succeed in the world out there.
Yeah.
Intentional
Yeah.
motherhood has to do with being aware. Somebody will
Oh
say,
yeah.
I know somebody, somebody that say you have to be aware. You have to be aware of what's happening. No, you have to know what is happening. You cannot be ignorant in this day and time as a parent. You can't. The good thing, Dr. Nisi, about parenting in this day and time. One of the good things is that there is information. There's
Yeah.
information, even though you need to be able to sieve the right information. You don't have any room to be ignorant. You don't have an
True.
excuse. There's no
No. No.
excuse to
No.
be ignorant as a parent in this day and time, because
Mm-mm.
there are various ways to learn about parenting your children. So there
True.
is no reason to like, I did not know. Oh, I did not. There is sources out there. So there is
Yeah.
no room to be ignorant. And we need to be able to teach our children values. One thing I will
True.
always say is that the greatest legacy of every parent is not the cars you leave for your children, the houses,
Mm-mm.
but the values you imprint in their subconscious,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's the values that we keep them going. When you are
True.
not there, that's what will be their compass in life. So it is very important. Thank you, Dr.
Mm.
Nisi. And I'm going to ask like two questions before we go. Now, what is
Okay.
the place of self care in the life of a mother when it comes to intentional parenting? Because women, like mothers, we I don't know, sometimes we just feel that we're not doing enough. And we keep driving ourselves, we keep pushing ourselves. So, what is a place of taking care of yourself and not feeling like you're selfish when it comes to intentional model in this day and time?
you know, sometimes when you ask that question about self-care, in a way I also look at it. Yeah, I can say being selfish is in a negative connotation, but being positive
Mm,
again, you can actually look at self-care being selfish and helping yourself. You understand? Women, like I
yeah.
said, they always have a way of asking people, how are you? How are you doing? Even when a woman is sick, she wants to stand up
Mm,
from the bed, go and make food for her
true.
children. She's
Very
sick.
true.
And when women say they are sick, men don't really understand. They are confused. How can she say she's sick and she's up and doing? She's up and doing because, especially for those of them who do not have maids or help, she's up and doing because if she doesn't do it, who will? Who
Very
will?
true.
When children look at their mothers, they see their mothers as food. They see their mothers
Mm,
as teachers. They see their mothers as doctors and nurses. In fact, you are all in one.
mm,
But then women must learn to take care of themselves. Yes.
very true.
These days when I come back from work and I'm tired, I sleep because for a while now I don't know what to call it, but as though I just snap. I could just snap and forget myself for a moment and come back to reality. And I'm asking myself,
Mm,
what's happening to you? I just feel that we didn't have children early. We had to wait to have
mm,
children. I should be having a 5-year-old child. But yeah, I am, and I'm grateful to God. But the point is, I'm not so young, so I try to take care of myself right now. Sometimes, if you need to go to a fast food joint and just sit down and be pampered and taken care of, pay for it.
pay for
If
it.
you need to go to a spa and have a masseur massage your body and give you a body scrub, go for it. And don't feel guilty going for it. Women must learn not to be guilty taking care of themselves. Don't
True.
ever go
True.
for an occasion and they have given you food to eat and you're thinking of how you want to pack the food into somewhere and take it home and give your children. What happened to your tummy? Is something wrong with your tummy? Nothing is wrong with your tummy. And this thing I'm telling you, we do it unconsciously. I went somewhere and they packed something for me. I would have just eaten it. You will not believe I didn't taste it. I brought it home for the
Wow.
children and the husband to eat it. So, but women must be intentional about taking care of themselves, taking care of their health. You must be intentional. Sometimes just carry your bag and just tell your husband you need a girls' day out and go to a swimming pool and just be, if you don't know how to swim, just enter the water and flap your legs. Sometimes just wear a dinner gown and tell your husband, I'm taking myself out and go somewhere and just have a me
Exactly.
time. Just enjoy yourself. And when you go, just for a moment, just forget about the home. When I traveled, the period I went to Uganda, I went to Kenya, and it wasn't
Yeah.
easy. My husband was taking care of the children, but I ensured that food was packed. So all he was doing was warming the food. But my dear, when I went, I just told myself, Sister Nisi, take care of you. Just take care of you.
Amazing.
So women
Amazing.
must learn to take care of themselves and not be apologetic about it. There's nothing wrong with you taking care of yourself because women have done so much, raising children, bathing children, so much virtue daily leaves you. You may not know.
Yes.
You say
Yes.
virtue, that
Yes.
virtue that Lord Jesus. You virtue leaves you every day, every day, every
So
day.
true.
So you must be intentional about self-care. Make sure you are
Mm,
taking care of you. Like in the flight, they'll tell you, ensure you have the marks on your nose, before you can
yeah.
help the next person. Ensure that you're okay so your children can be with you longer. You can be there when they are batting their own children. So you don't get missing in action. Please take care of
True.
you unapologetically.
Thank you. Thank you. Eat the food. Oh
Yes,
my
sir.
God. That's so
Yes,
true. Before we became mothers, we were first I would like say women,
daughter,
individuals.
girls.
You can't
Yes.
lose yourself. You can't lose yourself
Mm-mm.
as a mother. You can't. You can
So let me
afford
come
to.
in here. Let me just come in here. I had I got married after my first masters. But
True.
I ran because I knew I wanted to bag a PhD. So after my first
Yeah.
masters, I came for PhD, and they said, "Oh, I had an MBA, so I need to go and have an MSc." And then I was married.
Okay.
So I had my child going for MSc. I had my first son.
Mm.
I finished in between the MSc and PhD. I had a second child. Then concluding my
Wow.
PhD, I had my third child. So all my children are
Wow.
degree children. So don't let batting children or raising homes deter you from growing your dreams, educationally and otherwise. Don't let it. Don't say because I'm a woman, I'll not do it. Please. If it means you going back to school as self-care, go back to school. Very important. Don't you like the title, Dr. Nisi? I want to be a professor soon. It sounds good, makes you look good. You're happy. Look at your CV, look at your profile. I Google myself and I'm smiling. I'm happy about it. If you carry motherhood on your head and forget who you are, you go nowhere. You go nowhere. Your children will not be ashamed of you in some spaces. That's why you not see children going for graduation abroad. I say, Mommy, you don't need to come. You don't need to come. Please work on yourself so you can be present at all times.
Mothers, we need
Honestly,
to upgrade now. Now I know
I'm
that
telling you.
a lot of us are in different parenting phases in our lives. Like a lot of
Yeah,
us, maybe some of us may be raising toddlers, some preschoolers, preteens,
yeah,
teenagers,
yeah,
young adults, and the rest. So manage your phase. Do what you can at in your parenting phase. So
yeah,
whatever little growth you can add to yourself based on the parenting phase you are in, add that little. Try to
yeah.
upgrade. You may not be able to do so much when you're parenting toddlers, but do something little. The little drops of water is what makes a mighty ocean. So don't just be
True.
left there like, okay, because I'm a mother, there's no improvement in my life, there's no progress. You must be making progress daily, gradually,
True.
depending on your
True.
parenting phase. So it's so
True.
important. Let's not lose ourselves. Because at the end of the day, the children are going to leave us in that house. They're going to
Yeah.
go. We
True.
raise them and we deploy them to the world. And so you are
Yeah.
left there with your spouse. What becomes of you? Are you going to say, oh my God, where am I? And you're confused. You're confused. It should not be like that for us. You cannot be confused,
Yeah.
please. Please, you can't be confused.
Yeah.
So I believe that we need a lot of intentionality as mothers now in this time. In the world is
True.
evolving. So let's try to be
True.
intentional, plan your life, do things
Yeah.
that you need to do, upgrade. Dr. Nisi talked about you need to upgrade, you need to skill up. You are raising
Skill
children
up.
that are aware. Children that are aware. You must skill up.
Mhm.
I was talking somewhere and I said that the knowledge is everywhere. Now, as a parent, you must upgrade from just giving information to giving wisdom. You have to skill
True.
up because your
True.
children will get knowledge, information everywhere. They press their phone, Google, Chat GPT, they're getting information.
Mhm.
What is the difference between what you are giving them and what Chat GPT is giving them? It's wisdom. You must grow yourself.
Mhm.
You must grow yourself. Motherhood is not the way it used to be. So we must skill up. It's
Mhm.
very important. Dr.
Yeah.
Nisi, it has been an amazing time with you today.
Thank
And I'm
you.
just going to ask
Thank you.
the last question. Now, for
Okay.
intentional mothers, it's so important
Mhm.
that the health of our marriages tend to affect our parenting journey. So
Okay.
how does intentional mothers um, tend to, I don't use the word balance, manage a healthy marriage, even as they parent their children?
Parenting, like the word you said, parenting. So when you talk about motherhood, there is no mother without a father because children don't
True.
just fall like Virgin Mary gave birth. No, but these days we have fathers, we have mothers.
Mm,
In raising children, the role of the father cannot be overemphasized. We need men present in the life of the children. So at some
mm,
point when I was talking about intentional motherhood, you see me use the word intentional parenting, and I said something about
very true.
parenting is not just being providing for your children, it's also being present in their lives. And when I say being present, your spouse and you be present. And when
Mm,
women take care of their children, don't take care of your children forgetting your husband. Most women do that. Most women do that. So their focus is on children, 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 children. So the man comes back from work, you just expect him. I don't know if sometimes maybe it's out of you're not happy that you're doing this thing alone, but culture has just made us to be silent, to be quietly enduring. We talk. Sometimes I tell my husband, I'm tired. I'm tired. So in the mornings, my husband helps with the children to bathe while I cook and pack their food into packs, because at the end of the day, these children will grow
Yeah.
and go. And
True.
so it is that relationship you have built over time that sustains you, that keeps the two of you. So together, like this evening now, my husband knows I'm here. Before I go back, I'm outside the house. Before I go back now, my children would have had a bath. They would have had a
Mm.
bath. They would have had a bath. And then when they have their baths like that, they go inside. It's just the two of us. We can now sit down and gist. Now you're not asking, so what did you tell them? How did it go? You know, just ensure that you don't get to the point where your spouse now becomes like your brother. you know, Emotions is just so dead. It just because like your colleague is just there, or just cohabiting, or just there, we're just flatmates. No, you must ensure that your home is conducive for your husband. My husband will always tell me, he said, when I count everything God has given to me, I double the count on you. So
Wow.
it's important. It's important. This year I received an award from the British High Commissioner, and I didn't want to go to Abuja to receive that award. Everywhere I have gone to, my husband must say go. So I told him, I said, this is
Wow.
it, this is it. And then he just looked at me because I was not even considering the money for flights. And he said, you will go. He
Mm.
said, you will go. And the moment he said, you will go, I went. And today I can add it to my profile to say I was given an award for being a part of
Yeah.
women empowerment in affirmative procurement, building the capacity of business women. You know, so if your husband is happy with you, your ministry will go further. If your husband is
True.
happy with you, your impact will be deeper and wider. So ensure that you get the blessings of your husband. Don't do things alone and relegate him and you forget about your home. Before the children, he was. After the children, he will be. So ensure
Correct.
that that gap is bridged. Together, raise your children. Sometimes we gossip our children. Sometimes we
Wow.
just sit down and just gossip our children, just talk about this one and talk about this one and talk about this one. And then we pray for them at the end of the day because we want the best for them. We're even discussing right now, we're trying to get a property, we're trying to build a home. And I told him, I said, don't go and build lazy houses. These children will go, just build the one that the two of us can be going and it's okay for us. He said, I agree. So we're making our plans because we're watching them, they're growing. My son is going to JS1 by September. His sister will join him next year. And before you know it, they're all gone. It's just you. And I want to be going around the world and traveling. When they invite me to Kenya, I want to go with my husband. They invite me to Rwanda.
Mm.
I was supposed to be in
Mm.
Zanzibar, Tanzania this month, but I couldn't go because of fund. I was given an award. I was mentioned as one of the 100 women in Africa affecting Africa as a continent. I want to be able to be traveling for these kind of things and going with my husband, and
Nice.
watching him being proud of the wife he married.
Yeah.
So it's very important.
Yeah.
Our spouses are key in our success. Our spouses are very important in the equation. They balance it. As a matter of fact, you're not just a scale, you're both the scale, holding the balance. Yeah,
Mm.
holding the balance.
Oh,
Don't
thank you
mind me, I
so
can
much,
talk for
Doctor.
Africa.
It's not bad. We're learning a lot today. We're learning a whole lot, and it's so
Thank
critical
you.
that we don't. And I think mothers somehow we tend to just focus on our children and forget that we're
Yeah,
married to someone. We are not married to the
true.
children. We're married to a man in the house, and like you
Yeah,
said, the children will want to leave us there. If the relationship we fail to build today, you can build it after many years have passed. So, and
true.
the health of your marriage is critical in how you raise your children because you're a model. They see things, and tomorrow
True.
they go ahead and have homes and pattern their homes based on what you have taught them. By you may not have
Yeah,
said anything, but you have taught them by your actions and the way you treated your spouse. So it's very important
true.
that we have healthy marriages. So I believe
Mm.
we have learned a lot today, yeah, from this online conversation. I actually said in the beginning that this conversation, I tweaked it a little, and I had to give our doctor, yes, the opportunity to speak. Yes, without any
Thank
question.
you.
Then I came up and
Thank
did a
you.
question and answer session. And it has been an
Thank
amazing one.
you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nisi. You are dear to my heart.
Thank you very
You are dear
much.
to the
Thank you.
SOP platform. Yes. And we're going
Thank
to have you
you.
again.
Thank
So thank
you.
you so much for being a blessing to us. And I pray that the good Lord, we keep blessing what you do. Yes. Impacting the lives
Amen.
of women, giving them a cause to know that
Amen.
they can do great works in this day and
Amen.
time. So thank you so much for joining
Amen.
us in this
Thank
conversation.
you.
I look forward
Thank
to inviting
you.
you again, and I know you're going to come for another conversation.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank you.
you
Thank
so much.
you.
Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
beautiful
you.
night. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you. Have a
you.
beautiful night. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Now we have had an amazing conversation today. Different but beautiful. I believe you learned a lot. This is the first time we're having conversations in this format, but it has been a beautiful one. I think I'm going to consider doing some conversations like this. It has been an amazing one. Learned a lot. Intentional mother must be spirit led. Intentional mother must not reject technology, but refuse to lose our children to technology. An intentional mother must be aware of what's happening around her, aware of the development, the changes around our intentional mother must understand identity. She must know herself and be able to teach our children to understand who they are. Very critical. Intentional mothers must inculcate, or what's the word, impact on their children values. We have learned a whole lot today. And an intentional mother must take care of themselves. Self-care is important. You need to take care of yourself because the children you're about to take care of, if you're not well taken care of, you can take care of them. You can take care of your husband. You can take care of your home. You can fulfill your purpose. So you must take care of yourself. It has been an amazing conversation today, and I believe that we've learned a thing or two, and I believe that we're going to be following School of Parenting on Facebook, on Instagram. Yes, keep following us. There are a lot of things that have been dropping on those platforms. So do well to keep following us. SOP Online Conversation happens every last Monday of the month. So do well to look out for the next conversation, the last Monday of June. And like I said, this month we focused on mothers. Next month we're going to be focusing on fathers. Yes, it takes two to parent, the father and the mother. Parenting is not for the mothers alone. Parenting is for the father and the mother. So next month we're going to be focusing on the fathers. Fathers, we're coming for you. So do well. And even though we're going to be focused on the fathers, the mothers need to be here to hear certain things that will help them to have a beautiful home and a beautiful parenting journey with the fathers. Because, like I said, it takes two to parent. I will always say in this conversation, I won't fail to say, create memories with your family, have beautiful times. Because at the end of the day, what will you remember? The memories you've created. When the children leave the home, what will they remember? The memories they had and shared with you. So spend time with family, be deliberate in spending time with family. Like Zig Ziglar said, to a child, love is spelled time. So you must invest time in your family, your children, your spouse. Very important. Be present. Edward, our speaker said today, our guest said, be a present parent. Thank you, everyone, for joining me on this conversation today. The next conversation will be beautiful and amazing. So I look forward to seeing you. Please do share the link of our social media handles so people can join and learn from everything we teach here. And I believe that they're going to have a better parenting journey. So have a beautiful night, or is it a beautiful afternoon or beautiful morning, depending on where you're watching me from. So for now, it's bye. I'm Kitty Amin, the founder of School of Parenting and the convener of School of Parenting online conversation. It's bye for now. Bye.